2 using Digicel, call 766-7312 and our landline number is 469-7953. You can call us on the overseas line.
Yeah, global greetings. It's our first time actually trying this. We're live with 2020 Vision Radio and Nevis, where we're going to be doing another edition of Everything Agriculture. Yeah, so we're just testing this for the first time, streaming live from the radio station in Nevis. So let's see what's going to happen. Interesting. All right. There's some things that I would not necessarily be able to do here. So I may have to. This Tuesday, every Tuesday night. Okay. I think I know how to fix that.
Yes, good evening. And it's another Tuesday evening here in Sweet Orly and neighboring island, sister island, Layamiga, over the evil of the Federation of Sinkits and Nevis. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm your host, Banky, and welcome to the Everything Agriculture Show. I'm a co-host, Yason Tofari, all the way in California, usually joining us. Can't do the show without him. Greatly appreciate my brethren, Yason Tofari. Yes, it's winding down to the end of the year. We have 2 more shows to go next week. This evening I chose not to have any guests, so we just want to go over what we have been doing for the rest of the year. So with topics, general agriculture, speak about cannabis industry also, and whatever, any other topics anyone want to talk about. And if you want to be a part of the show, the telephone number is 469-7953 or 669-7312. Or if you're overseas, 1917-460-2187. Okay, let me say good evening to the folks in the neighboring islands, St. Martin, Save and Statia, the US Virgin Islands, the BVI, the folks over in Montserrat right there, Antigua, Barbuda, also folks also over in Bermuda itself, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica. I have folks listening up in Dominica also. Great appreciate you guys tuning in. Trinidad, Jamaica, folks also in the diaspora in North America, Canada, all the way up to Maine, come down to Boston, all the way to the Florida Keys. I know it's getting chilly up there in North America and stuff like that, and Canada. Also getting chilly here in Nevis also. The short days coming in, so around 5:30 the place already darkened already, so. And this is going to be up until sometime after, during March, late February to March and stuff like coming on spring where start to get back the long days. So greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's coming up to carnival time and I already see it. People coming down already for the carnival and vacation. Strange faces and faces who you know also. So, which is good. So a lot of people tend to look for this time of year, celebrate for the turkey and the ham and the sorrel. Right now, people calling for sorrel, and I know it seems like much people planted sorrel this year are they kind of late, so it's just like I know what's going on right now. But we have a lot of work to do. Sorrel is a crop that could be planted all year round, so we'll have to get that and that part going definitely. So also I'm sure the folks also in Europe, in England, I know it's late up there, and you guys still stick with us and make sure you stay tuned and listen to see what's going on. So once you listen to this show, you show that you have an interest and you have a different mind frame. So you're really in tune with nature and you have a conscious effort when it comes to make sure you're aware of your environment and where your food is coming from. So all those who have been listening to the show for the past over 3 years and started their garden and all that is today someone checked for me and wrote me some information about planting and different stuff like that. So that is encouraged because it's a skill set that all human, wherever you're at in the world, and especially if you're one who aware of what's going on in your environment, you realize, for instance, to yourself, you just war upon war, and now you're seeing these wars live. You understand? It's just like you're there. So you just show you how much money we're making off of these things. And then you're in condition to normalize the killing of people on TV. And then, I mean, just some pure genocide going on right now, a lot of craziness. But a lot of people making a lot of money. So don't really hold no side with anyone who making money off a work, only they're benefiting. And then poor people, children, innocent people losing their lives and all this craziness. But as I tell you, I live in a capitalistic world, and that's what capitalistic world is all about. Do it by all means. Extermination. That's just it. Everybody fighting for the resources of the earth. Land. Those who own the land control the people and the resources. That's just how simple and and that's how it gets. So as a white man, no matter how educated you are, your PhDs, your masters, your bachelors, they mean nothing if you're not conscious and aware of who you are as an individual and protecting your own resources. Yeah, you might make a little money here and there, whether on the table you figure it out, but when you realize, look around who the landowners them are, you're gonna have to submit to them because you can't do nothing without if you have land. You can't plant, you can't live, you pay rent for the rest of your life and it's generational. So this is how we should supposed to be letting our people, and it's the same thing when you want to be a sovereign nation and all these different terminologies I want to use and independent. You can't be independent first when you're not teaching your own history, your own languages, feeding yourself, you making your own clothes and training your own people in all type of different areas, engineering, medicine, history, crafts. That's just the reality. In order to be self-sovereign and not dependent on anyone. I mean, if the boats stop coming, we even can't sustain ourselves. But before we get into that, just want to say, I realize it seems like there's a young lady over in the sister island, Liamiga, St. Kitts, is missing a 15-year-old young lady from Lagreed. I think her name is Valiana Edwards from Bastia High. I mean, the last time she's been seen is the 5th of December, and she's about 5 feet, have an afro, natural hair, and she will be dark complexion, melanated, black or yellow, which terminology you want to use. But I mean, it's sad when you really hear these things on the radio that you can't find a young lady, a young person who, and if they run away from home, you don't know the circumstances, but you're just not good as a parent. You don't know, you can't sleep, you can't eat. So it's just sad. And something like this, I mean, from the 5th, you need something like this need an all hands on deck approach. And hope anyone who knows where the young lady at hopefully she turned up safe, and the parents and the family can be at ease and stuff like that. So if you know anything about a young lady, I mean, you just pass that information to the parents or someone who you want to give the question to. And if you whatever, just let us know it's safe to go home and stuff like that. But these kind of situations seem to be occurring over and over and like, normalizing in sync. So when you hear these things, I guess sometimes people don't really pay attention. You understand, but this is not good and stuff like this is normalizing. Killing is normalizing. We're normalizing everything. And that's that. It's just like this evening, I mean, I had some guests, my cousin, big up my cousin, Chantal Miller, Shani. I mean, she was telling me they're supposed to get a troop for next year for the 50th anniversary of the culture drama. Growing up, I used to be the Vanessa troop, and they used to have troop every culture drama. Yes, I mean, if you know about things, and I used to be the part of those things. Play plenty troop, and mostly we always placed our win and stuff like that. So, and definitely when you think Vanessa and Shani taking part of going to be something big, spectacular, and going to be something to remember. And I know just by reasoning with Shani this evening, I mean, going all out. Special Korea go for everything. Korea be busy. People going serious. I mean, I'm not sure if there's a prize up to for parade. If there's a prize, even if there's $1 million prize, because we all Shani seems to be going there. Yes, so the prize to be won. There's a statement coming back when it comes to this troop, but it's 50 people. I mean, as she said, I mean, but when the time comes, another 50 people gonna be filled. Mom, just like that, cause I mean, she started what I mean. But so just want to big up Shani and her achievements, and I was involved in things from since I haven't known her. You know, within tourism, young lady that's full of talent and have a very great heart, and always motivating the young females around here in being confident within themselves and stuff like that. So just want to big up Shani and the great work she's been doing. Definitely a role model for young females around, always having different function. I know things to tell me she have something else coming up sometime next year where she put some different stuff together. think I'll have to bring her into the show yesterday, and we do some reasoning with Shani,
Yeah.
right? So that would be much better. Show the world what I've been, the stuff she's been doing and stuff like that. So definitely, I'll probably do that for the new year, if possible. Start off with her in the new year, stuff like. So again, now with you, Jason.
I giving thanks, just holding the faith over here. Taking in the as I hear you talking about the chilly weathers, temperatures don't start dropping on Sunday sides, so just prepping for that time of the year. This year, looking to do it a little bit different, so I'm actually gonna plant through the winter. Gonna do some bok choy and cauliflower and onions and I got some radish.
About cabbage, broccoli, and
I,
so.
I don't have them. I have the cauliflower seeds. So I have cauliflower, mustard greens, daikon radish, bok choy, and onions and garlic. So those are the crops that I'm gonna really push during this season, and then start preparing for spring, doing the pruning and getting things ready for spring. Um, it's kind of sad, like I hear you talk about the young girl that's missing and St. Kitts, and you know, I that and some of the killings, in more recent times drove me to put a post on Facebook a couple of days ago. I think it was last night probably, in terms of how seemingly we have become numb to things like this. So even in relation to the young girl, I saw the Facebook post a couple of days ago, but the 7 days, and I mean, still no big, you ain't hearing any big, you know so I think that speaks to what we are saying, in the sense that these things are like becoming so normal now that it's like we are becoming numb to it. But I really want us to start to think more seriously about life. As Rastafari, part of our meditation is more life. you know more life. Um and I think now we need to add more light as well, because it seems as if a lot of the youths taking the dark side of things. So we need to have that positive energy, interject that positive energy in terms of what's going on. So I really would hope that the whole society would come on board and really seek to help to find this young girl. And let's hope and pray that she gets back home safely. As a parent, these things, I mean, I could imagine how the parent feel. I mean, I ain't not seeing my child coming home for a night, not knowing where she is, and not just one night now. This is 7 nights now, you know. So I'm hoping that the whole society and the whole community can step forward, and I hope this kind of help to be a catalyst as well for many of our people to kind of shift that mentality where you know we see things and don't say anything. We need to get to the point where we start to really address some of these things, and some of the people in our communities. I mean, you don't have to be um offensive and rude, and you know to get across a message. But we need to really show some of these people in the various communities that we don't really like, not really, we don't like what they're dealing with. And we ain't gonna appreciate that in our communities. And I think until the parents and other members of the community, take that kind of stand and let them know, hey, we ain't gonna hold our secret no more, no, this thing, and help them to change the mentality that they could value themselves and value life some more. Because I think if we have that kind of mentality, I don't think we would want to take each other's life. When you value life and how important and significant life is, what is it that would have gotten us to the point where we you know we need a gun, we need to take each other's life? And when you look at it, it's not even our true enemies, you know it's like your own brother, your own cousin, your own, you know what I mean? Like, why? So we need to really analyze, these things and really, take a different approach to how we deal with things. It's a pleasure being here. I can't believe, like we're at the end of the year already. Just the other day we were saying Happy New Year, and you know what I mean, and we know at the end of the year, after all these different shows, um, you know, we're still we still have to carry on, even though we are still not seeing fully the kind of results that we desire. We still have to pursue, we still have to push. 20 by 25 agenda, agriculture, focus on agriculture. I am looking forward to Wednesday.
Before you get into that, let me touch part of where you mentioned we the youth and them, we you have to get them in a sense to like know themselves where something is wrong, because you see one of the issue that these things come from, well, we don't really know ourselves. You see what I mean? And it's not like we're trying to move forward or change anything about it. We just adapt a system, especially the educational system part of it, which have a big role to play. You see, we just continuing what was given to us. Because even though I'm not know about Vacha and all these things, I have to educate myself about these things. You see what I mean? Because even in primary school and in high school, the little thing they tell you and stuff like that is not even enough. Even though you don't know nothing about the Buckley's riot and this kind of stuff, they teach you more about Christopher Wan and all these different, you know what I mean? They teach you stuff that make the oppressor look good.
Exactly, they teach it from their perspective. Yeah, from their perspective.
And then they still continuing it, and just keep continuing the oppressor languages, Spanish, French, and then Mandarin. You see what I mean?
But you see, Banky, when we talk this way, a lot of people, especially us who look like this, they generally say, "Oh, then Rastaman always coming with the you know what I mean?" But no, but the reality is, it is vital in terms of having a better understanding of a lot of the things that's going on in the world today, because a lot of what is going on in the world today is as a result of a lot of those things that happened in the past that they say, oh, we should forget about.
No, but you see, past, present, and future exist in one. Because look at it. If something affects you when you was 5 years old, even when you're 8 years old, it still affects you, because psychologically, you see what I mean? It's you. So where's the time that passed? And even if you get raped and you have to go in the court and talk about it, it was 20 years ago. It's just like happened yesterday.
Right.
Because that's the reality, but you've not been taught these things. You see? Oh, that don't a long time, only a long time. You see? Not name so. Because we just not living how we're supposed to live. We dress somebody else way, we eat somebody else way, we speak somebody else way. It's just like yesterday, made a virgin a reason.
Mm.
And then so saying, well, two times one. So he said two. So well, 1 times 1. So he said what? He said 1 times 1 can't be 1 virgin. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been questioning all these things since as a youth. I'm saying that the teaching is nonsense, because you're teaching multiplication at the same time. What it is times I multiply I increase. So you understand? Those two things mean you're adding. So if you ain't putting it defeat the purpose of what you're trying to tell me right there, because somebody have to explain that one day. That don't make no sense, but you accept this kind of crap. You see? And when you question these things, something is wrong with you. Just accept. No, you can't accept. You got to question why. And this way, so you got to teach, well, why these things are like this. And then you have to ask, well, where these things come from. You see? So you got to,
but it's vital in terms of teaching, the youths, especially like as you talk about us growing up and not knowing our history, right? It's just the other day, like Nevis and St. Kitts have its own history, right? But Nevis now, because of a part of our history, some of the information that was presented about St. Kitts and Nevis is presented in a biased way to some extent because of politics, right? So like a Nevis, you tend to, majority of the time, if you don't go and do the research for yourself as an individual, you might tend to want to always have the impression that Bacha was, one of the worst, person for Nevis, right? But when you look at certain things that Bacha would have done, taking out this the inter-island politics, the St. Kitts and Nevis politics. But when you look at what he would have done and the significance of the role he played, not even just for St. Kitts and Nevis, but for the region, right? The man was way ahead of his time. And I at this point wish that we had leaders with that kind of mindset and that kind of mentality, because I did a little live the other day in regards to this, because I was listening to an issue that's taking place in Jamaica, where, because Jamaica and the Jamaican government at the time didn't do what Bracha did in St. Kitts and Nevis, the problems, with the beach and the rivers and so, because he made it abundantly clear and made the policies outlined early, so that nobody can come here and talk about they claim no beach, no matter whether if it's 4 seasons or whatever. No, they can't stop you from going on the beach to bathe if you want to, because the beach is free. At least it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, because these are kind of things that Bracha put in place to make sure that.
Let me say something here, son. When you're talking about the beach, I got a problem with the beach. You see, everybody took up. You see, as a youth, when we used to go on the beach, you go play on the sand. No, you can't really play on the sand, because the sand now become beach chairs for everybody. You see, so you can't really enjoy the beach how you want, because like cabanas and 4 seasons. You can't even walk out. If you walk out on the beach of 4 seasons, if you go up in by the water, which part the water, the surf burst. But to walk in the low sand, it's pure beach chairs. It's pure beach chairs. That's what you see as a youth when I'm in grade 4. And they start telling me about tourism. I always hated tourism, because I see these things coming in the future. Because we don't have no beach like that. Horses got 1,000 beach chair, then you come down by the chair. If you want to organize, if you want to go up on this sand, you have to come up on the sand, you go up more. You understand what to show you? You
Right,
up
right.
That is nonsense. And you go the same, you go over Reggae Beach. I mean, I look at this thing and I say, well, is this thing normal?
Well, you see, this is the thing.
Everything is money. This is why I'm saying this. Everything become money. We have this capitalistic world we're living in. It's great by unnecessary.
No, well, you see, Banky, it's okay still to some extent for the businesses to benefit from the beach and do what they're doing. It becomes a problem. If they are going to seek to impede the locals from using the beach and or stop you from using it. So I mean, I understand what you're saying, where you're going with that, and what. No, but they can't prevent you. The thing is, they can't prevent you, or they shouldn't. And if so that is why these are some of the things that we will have to ensure we protect, because we will have to make sure that they don't seek to do these things and overstep. So that's why I'm saying I give thanks that Bracha would have put these things in place, so that even if try to do these things, that there is recourse. And we have to make sure that our elected officials don't allow them, in whatever deals and arrangements that they make with them, give them the impression or make them feel. That is one of the reasons why, for me, I guess this might end up people might take it from a political standpoint, but this is why, for me, when they had the issue with the lady on the beach, running on the beach and trying to stop the children from running on the beach, and it wasn't addressed properly, that is my problem with it. My problem was the fact that it was not addressed in a way to send a clear message to people that they don't even bother think about making them kind of moves there. And these
police, I guess, locked down in a Marriott, and kind of something. I mean, people are comfortable. Yeah, you see, is one thing, If you quick to, I don't understand understand where you get this mentality from. But if you don't see a man as a man, an individual, and when there's something wrong, you treat them the same. You see, we see people and see colors, and that is the problem. You're mad. If you ain't from here, I ain't care where your skin color be. If you disrespect, you should be pulled up right away. You see what I mean? Whether you have money, yes or not, and that's how it should be, but it's really not like that. Because you have classes and then you have a caste system. I understand the environment I live in, wherever I go. So try understand the kind of system and make sure I keep my youth them this way. You see what I mean? Because we have been conditioned to give certain people the way forward first and all this nonsense. Or if you're serving them or whatever, you start speaking the Queen's language properly. Because when you speak the Queen's language properly, you're said to be intelligent and smart. Nonsense. You understand? Stupidness. That have nothing to do with intellect. You know what I'm saying? Just crap because you have your condition, because somebody tell you that is what it is, and what you just chose to do all these things. You have your dress, all these suits and all this. You just dress like somebody else. Because if you put on your own traditional clothing, you've been thinking to hate yourself so much. And it's a shame. It's real, and that is why I always stay back on the cultural part of it, because that goes along, because that is why the mental part of the slavery is what mashing us up, You see what I mean?
Well, Banky, if you have a system, right, that was designed not for a specific group of people to benefit. That's how the system was designed. It has nothing to do with who is responsible for managing the system. The system was designed for a certain set of people to benefit and for a certain set of people to be dealt with a particular way. So,
whole point, let me bring in them folks from CBN, then I'm going to come back after your point, and then we're going to continue the show.
Yeah, people. So this is just a whole different meditation as we wrap up the final. Well, I shouldn't say the final. Sorry, we got another one next week. Yeah, and we just vibing through some different meditation and this edition. So, folks, stick and stay. We'll be back in just a bit.
Until 9 p.m. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside your son Tafari. It's your weekly educational show on 2020 Vision Radio. Tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. So 102.1 FM this Tuesday, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. It's everything agriculture.
Yes, good evening, and we're back, and welcome to the Everything Agriculture Show. I'm your host, Banky, and my co-host, Jason Tafari, Alwyn, California. Remember, if you want to be a part of the show, the telephone number is 469-7953 or 669-7312 or 1917-460-2187. This evening, we're speaking on general agriculture, food security, the cannabis industry, and any other topic you want to speak of. Also, this evening we was talking about a young lady who is missing, a 15-year-old in St. Kitts from Lagreech. Her name is Valiana Edwards from Lagreech, from Basti. She got to attend Basti High School. Since the 5th of December, she's been missing. So if you know anything about her whereabouts, can you contact the nearest police station or family member or friend? At least hopefully she get back home safe, because it's sad. It's very, very sad. You mean, especially at any time you hear someone is missing, a teenager, and it's becoming more frequent and stuff like that. So hopefully, she turn up safe and the family can get up to some kind of rest and ease. Also, let me say good evening to those who tuning in on 2020 Vision Radio, also those on the Facebook Live, Twitch TV, YouTube. Also, good evening to Gwendolyn Williams, Burlby Jones, Evan Jeffers. Uh, you have Woodlin Hill and Gwen Williams. Good to appreciate the guys tuning in. Yes, and you want to continue your point?
Yeah, well, I was just saying that the system that what we are functioning within was never necessarily designed for us, and that's part of the reason why things are the way it is. So you find if that system is perpetuated and that mentality is perpetuated, it doesn't necessarily matter who is sitting in the seats, as long as the system remains the same. Things are going to continue to be the same, and so the things that are going to be done to benefit a certain set of people and keep a certain set of people in a certain way. So you find, for example, like I analyze our society, and there's a cry right now from a lot of these small businesses, right? And I find that our people, and we really banky, there's some serious paradigm shifting that is needed. Our people really need to really shift the way our thinking is, and the system, and that's why I point out the system, because the system is part of what is keeping our people the way, because part of the effectiveness of the system depends on the divide and rule and conquer game, right? And because of that divide and rule and conquer game, a lot of our people are so divided that when things happen, even if it's not politics, there's some kind of different division that we use to kind of fight down each other. So when a small business gets shut down or the lights get cut off, or something happen, some of us glory in that. Some of us, when we should be thinking by, and I said that on the backdrop of the flip side of that, the governments who should, maybe find some ways to help to assist some of these small businesses so that they can stay afloat and work. Sometimes they're part of the system of seeking to oppress these people. And then when you look on the flip side of that, they are offering all kind of concessions and all kind of thing for foreign investors to come in. So, it makes you really see, as I'm saying, that system that is designed, because the system that they're functioning within allows them to do that, allows them. I was listening some time back, I think it was on this radio station as well, where they were talking about the deal that was proposed, I think, for Nisby Plantation or some hotel that was supposed to be built. And they listed out a lot of the various concessions and so on that would have been given to this entity, and the length of time that they would have been getting these things. I mean, yes, we really do want to attract foreign investors, and so I'm not saying that they shouldn't get certain concessions and so on, but I'm saying when you're giving foreign entities sometimes who in some cases could afford to pay the taxes, could afford to inject some of these taxes, but we give them a break and then stifle our own people and stifle our own small businesses, and we laugh at it. When our small business is shut down and is replaced by some other, business, we run and support it. So some of these mentality, and that's what I'm saying, the mindset, instead of helping to fix that and work with that, we fight against that. It's likewise in agriculture. You have billions of dollars set aside in CBI and CBI funds that you would be willing to invest in foreign investors, but you would not be willing to take that same amount and invest it in your local people and local entrepreneurs and so on, because system again, if you help and get these people set up, then they would be in a position where they don't need you. And because of the game, they want to keep you a certain way so that they can get your X. So they can always play this game and come and give you a little handout when the time come and give you some little treat and bring in some artists and make you feel good and give you some drinks and party and tell you, yeah, man, come over with me.
So they're using the poor then. They're using the vulnerable.
But that's part of the game, Banky. If you stop and you analyze it, what is there to stop our people from empowering our people? Remember, it's our people who are in position, the taxes, and it's the reverse psychology that is continued to be perpetuated, where the politics is the strangest thing for me, you know. It is the only occupation where the employees, treat the employers like they are the boss, like they are the employers. So the employees, who are our highest paid citizens, civil servants, so we pay them. When we talk to them, we turn around, make it seem like we begging them. When it is the other way around, they are accountable to us. They should be consulting with us. We money they're spending. So when they go in the house and they say that where they're reading out bill and say, oh, they do this and they do that. They're doing it with our money. They ain't doing nothing for we.
No, but yeah, you see, well, that's where you're wrong, yes, son. Because remember, they're calling them boss.
But
They're doing the boss.
so that's what I'm saying. Is we allowing them to play that reverse psychology on us?
No. Nobody let them. We choose to do that because all of a sudden now, me and your brethren, and tomorrow you become Minister of Agriculture. But all of a sudden now,
Your boss.
Your pants start get tighter and your shoes start get longer. And after something so now, you know, me can't get a yes or no more. Everybody know I can't different trouble, so we know have to fall in line. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Because it don't make no sense to me. Because you see, words are very important. Very important. You must always look up the original words and where it come from and the meaning of it. Because that is how we are always doing. We as a people, melanated, that we use symbols and symbols. You understand? We use them for. So you just can't be. We can even check the word "boss" is a Greek word. You see, and these are words we use in Europe with the British. You understand? And the plantation and stuff like that, and different with they call them boss, which mean master. So in the US, when everything was abolished, you understand, in the 1800s, then they keep out the word. You understand?
Yeah, but the point I'm making to you is the system that they used to use still remain. So the Westminster style governance of style of governance is what we still continue to perpetuate in these parts.
Yeah, but you see, we use terminologies and we do it in the media because those who are at the top know the meaning of these words, you know. You see, they know the meaning of these words. Remember that. So they work in spells against the people and laughing after them. That's why nobody can be in a boss. No, me not them things. They can't be nobody boss. Me not nobody this. Me nobody no. You see, I'm going to show you. Please, in that serious. I don't entertain any things there because I am following the trend. Because they don't make no sense. So those, they know. Remember, the intellectually know. They went to school for a lot of years. So they're smart. They speak the Queen's language well. I remember when you speak the Queen's language well, they say you're intelligent and you're this and that and that and something. That's what it is. So Mr. say what it is. You see. But that doesn't make no sense. You're manipulating their own. And that is why you see they don't want to change the school system and start to teach their own people who they are. Because the more you start teaching them who they are, and you start to go back and show where they come from. And everything that you see within in front of them.
It becomes a threat to them. Like recently I saw a post, and I think I fashioned a post based on it as well. We are in Burkina Faso. The leader decided French is not going to be the official language anymore. You know what I mean? No. I did a post and I said, like, what about us? Why can't Swahili? Why can't we drop English and accept Swahili as our, official language? You know, like people who look at it like, what are you talking about? Well, you stop and you analyze us, Banky. We are still fighting to teach colonial languages, French, English, Spanish, right, in school. And now, based on the trend where, China is becoming a rising economy, Mandarin, and also because, I guess, of our Taiwan connections, Mandarin is also being, tugged to so soon they might look to do that. But Africa is also being deemed one of the top rising economies in the world as well right now. So why is it, you see how they have us brainwashed so much that even something like that we ain't even think about? That's not even thought about. Like, how about putting an African language as a subject in school as well too? Take it to that level. Because we have gone in that mentality so far that brainwash British, the whole scheme of things, to the point where in 2023 we're still comfortable electing people who supposed to be leading us, and they play allegiance to King Charles III, his years and his successors, and you sit comfortable with that. You have a governor general, you're paying a governor general, and recently Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis is an interesting place. The prime minister is saying before his first term, he wants to become, he would love the federation to become a republic. And then we have elected officials on Nevis saying, Bahai, then what sense do that? It's only moving, is only moving a figurehead, and you're putting back one of your person now. But even if it's just symbolic in that way, it's still symbology that you're trying to maintain there, because the queen or the king ain't head of no state here. The symbology. So what's wrong? But the other part is it doesn't only have to be a symbolic president. They can take the approach of having a executive president similar to America, but it would mean that the prime minister and the premier wouldn't have the kind of power that they have. The power would now rest in the president, and they wouldn't want that. So that's why they wouldn't even seek to entertain that sort of discussion. But these are some of the things that we as the people need to engage, because if it's left to them, they wouldn't do it, because they're going to do what is beneficial to them. That is why they ain't even seek to change the constitution, nothing in the constitution, because the status quo is beneficial to them. If they seek to maintain it the way it is, yeah, it's to their benefit. So if the glass ain't break, why fix it? Why try to fix it? And that's the mindset.
2025 agenda, the year finish in the next 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, start 2024, or 2024 look. And in the first quarter 2024 is agriculture open day, you see what I mean? In the March, like the last Thursday and Friday in March, and then the following month, April, is thinking agriculture open day. So which means preparation up, well, Nevis usually don't have meetings and stuff like that. But agriculture can usually start early and the kind of vibes and so forth. Because once, if you're going to be selling pumpkin and sweet potato, you may have to start putting them in the month you planted them already. If you want to be harvesting, because 4 months, those are 4 months crop. You can take the variety, so you mean you have to put them in the ground already. And if coming in for beginning first week in January, you got to make sure you don't got you see them don't set now. Your tomatoes, bell peppers, all the different stuff. So when January hit, the first week you plant them out. If you don't plant them out in the first week, the odds are you never have it. You got to sell for. You see what I mean? Everything is tight. Same with watermelon, you got to make sure you have the seedlings ready. Set them now, and they're ready at the end of the month. And you plant them out the first week. I plant direct seeds in January, and then you get them harvested for the end of March. So everything you have to understand each crop, the timing, environment, and what you have to make sure you have water, which is key. But if you rely on relief rainfall, then you're in a different situation. You see what I mean? So
but
we still didn't have a comprehensive approach to know where we're going when it comes to 2025 and beyond, because that's 2025 is just like tomorrow as far. That's how I see it.
Well, Banky,
yeah.
You are on Nevis, right? I mean, I know you're mainly based on what I've been informed. You're mainly based at Indian Castle, but you're an extension officer as well, still, right? So you still move around to certain farms and so as well.
I don't do extension work no more since I've been down there. I just been based there.
Oh, so you spend okay, all right. So let me take back that. So what is going on in Nevis? So would you have an idea in terms of the readiness?
Let me take this car and come back. Carlo, good evening.
Richard?
Yes, I welcome.
Blessed night on the bank space.
Yes, I
I'm blessed night for the Yasan and blessed night to listeners to the radio and YouTube and Facebook feeder, as I call it Facebook. Just want to pick back on something to discuss for yourself before you are going to the 2025 budget. You were still on the small business movement, and something just come to my way, Richard, there is some light. that prior to Denzel Douglas time in office as the Prime Minister, I heard him state that we have in competition. And before he tells to outline good wrong for the small business system to keep afloat, he approached the level of all the Chinese them as citizens. So they have a right to enhance their business or their business. So I'm making a strange this to say, and then the farmer prime minister now, who is Dr. Timothy Harris, come in 2015 and outline of giving $100 million duty-free concession to the businesses. And when I asked the question to General Rose, a part of that administration, he told me that if this party didn't get the benefit on the dental administration, so they implement that. Well, we still have the small businesses suffer under that $100 million because who do you think the concession went to? The big businesses, them hospitals and all them others there. Them never help the poor man and the woman who have the businesses of small enterprise. So we still see this disadvantage is coming along. That's why you need to really take a stand and know how to manage to trust one another in the business enterprise. Entity that we must be able to know. We don't try to control one another, but try to feel one another. Whether the one wealthy at the time, just work so we can see that level, dive in. Just like how we used to sit back and tell them move. How come we can't move like that? That is my point at the moment until I feel of something else more. Give down.
Blessed Kaya.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and so I am back again with these big businesses. We're going to go back again. We live in a capitalistic world where the government, wherever you find them, they are controlled by the corporate world. That's the way it is. So they're going to say, is them who fund these who fund the politics or whatever, and the campaign and the this and that and whatever. Them not going to say, no, them have to consult before they make a decision and come and say this. And them give the orders, people will not see. You see?
Who is not gonna say? Who is not gonna say?
The same politicians them when they vote for and say the big businesses them who money them take go tell them what they want and what they don't want. What you mean? If you take me money, me tell you what song to play, or you play your one play, you know work so. Whoever pay the piper call the tune. That's the rules. When you take people money, so you can't tell the people the money you take. And they donate that kind of stuff to you. The citizens who don't get password can't invest this place and that place. That's why I don't believe in taking people money now. This thing because
well, you see, part of.
I always speak because we have. Let me finish up this here. Because we have enough money. We have much of money to say we go there and beg people, and then we are talking about so much of grants out there, and ain't not one a grant. You understand? And we all want to beg and seek some this and from UNESCO. All these are commanded the same United Nations and all this thing. You understand? FAO and this and that, same thing, same family, different letters and whatever, same thing. Everybody wants something in return. Okay? They want resources, they want your land, they want whatever you have. And they use the workers as they get the more measly paid. That's what it is. I have this the content way. I'm content way. We can own our own resources. Our own hotel. Set our own educational system where we want it. Train our people in the best technology when it comes to healthcare. Because that is easy to do if you want to do it. Set up our own water system. How about that? You understand? Train our people to drill well everything. Because we got to see the better doing cells. Okay? Own power. Nobody supposed to come here and build no power control. No, we call it solar power. And no, sir. We not take like that. And I don't see no political party can convince me this way. It will never happen. Ever. Come in and entertain the conversation. Okay? Because we have people here doing the work, managing the hotels and everything here. But then you have somebody over them. It's just they're going to keep back on a cool and in an office and getting the AC and wherever. If we have real land, we have the money, we have the people because we have the best builders, we have the best architects, we have the best intellects. Like if it's one thing with us, we love school. So we love to say we're 90 0.999. He said it's 100%. Intelligent and smartest in the world, but yet we still seem to be the dumbest because we're making some dumb mistakes. Okay? Dumb mistakes. And we're supposed to call it for what it is.
But Banky, the thing is, it would be considered a mistake if they didn't know any better. But it is not a mistake when it is calculated. You see, the way you talk the way you no Banky, you talk the way a person who is really interested in the development of the island or the country is concerned. But there's a difference. There's a difference with those people who are truly and fundamentally concerned about the development of the nation, and those who are more focused on winning. Because for some, it's a game, and they do whatever is required when it is required to win the game. So it is our strategy. It's not necessarily doing things for the benefit of the people. The people come into play when it is necessary for them. Outside of that time, the people is just on the side. Because you look at the part, okay, you were just talking about some of these people who would invest in the government and so on. And so since you're paying the piper, you're talking that line. But when you look at that, how the system is structured in a way that a lot of what you're saying there, to some extent, even though we know it is true, it is still left as allegations, because at the end of the day, they don't have to say who they're getting campaign funding from. So there's nothing there to say, well, or this person give. But we know that it's businesses and other private people, are sponsoring them. So then sometimes when things happen, right, that is when you get to question certain things. So for example, like, okay, and that's why I say these are things I don't know if from a governmental standpoint, if we could eventually, as a people, force the government to mandate that, because the government put laws in place based on how the people react and agitate, right? So it's the agitation of the people that would cause them to certain things. If you don't agitate, as far as they're concerned, then you like it and things good. So
yes, son.
Yeah.
You tell me, with all we call this all these alphabet QCs we have local around here, the Hapson, Ted Hapson, we have Cucumber Brown, how much other QCs we have on here? All the kind of QCs, you understand? The first Prime Minister, Kennedy Simmons, and all the others. I don't know all these different QCs, but we have a lot of QCs and people with MBE, and it is one thing. We are intellectual. I will have to go to the school. I went to the best schools of you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, a set of intellectual, right? We write a constitution, and it's so complicated that these intellectuals who speak so well and so can't fix what I write. Then when you tell me it's so complicated, these are the government radio say, oh, it's so complicated, and all these different terminologies, something they call you have to go call
Banky. I told you earlier, I give you the example, if the battle aim break, why fix it? It's not that they can't fix it, but I'm trying to show you how it is set up. It is beneficial for them. So until we, the people, realize that, boy, and agitate, that's what I'm telling you, that's how they work. If you don't agitate as a people, then they accept that you like it the way it is.
Well, let me agitate for this. Well, tomorrow is when is budget? Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
I need the Attorney General, and I need Dr. Drew, and then this whole cabinet. You see this young lady, age 15, I don't know the circumstances around it, but I need them to raise the age of consent from 16 up to 18, where you could get a driver's license, where you could vote, and all other stuff, where they say you're an adult. Until then, I want to make it a priority. So-called politicians or politicians, wherever, they got to address this age of 16 of consent. Okay? That's why they have to address this age of consent. You can't live in a place, and these is strictly through different communities, through the Caribbean and wherever and all these lads. You understand? You can't drink, go there unless you're 21. You can't do that. You understand what I mean?
Mm.
The age is too low. You can't tell me have a youth in high school, 14, 15, 16, and me take care of me, figure what you want, and then show that way you want, and somebody 100 years old go out and whatever, and she can't, and then give my child and me know have to go look for me grandchild or 100-year-old father, and me can about it, and it's okay. But you have to go back to school. Neither making me head in me house. Me can't get good sleep. I'm supposed to ask myself of my grandchild. I understand, and I support the same child. My grandchild know I'm a child still, and nobody's not wrong with these things. The Christian council not know with these things. All these 100 and something churches are going to Federation of St. Nevis. No say nothing wrong with this thing, yeah.
Banky, part of these are the colonial part. A lot of these things we inherit. These are systematic things that we inherit. But our people. But watch it, Banky. The premier is one of the top lawyers in the federation. Go one of the biggest law firms, and he sit down and say that not even a comma change in the constitution, and then they find out kind of excuse that it's hard to do this and hard to do that. But when it's convenient for them, and their cases or whatever it is, as hard as it is, they find the resources to deal with it or whatever it is to deal with it and get it happen. But when it comes to, that's what I'm saying, a lot of these people are banking, and until the people really start to realize that, a lot of these people who are in these places, they're there for their own benefit. It's not necessarily for the benefit of the people. Because at the end of the day, let's use the argument that the premier is making right now for not paying double salary, right?
Yes.
But he's coming now after he sat in government for 7 years, getting double salary every year, and he was getting it. And also, even though he's making that point that he's making now, if tomorrow when Drew goes into the house, Drew say he's paying double salary, he getting a double salary, he ain't gonna say he ain't gonna take it. He never said last year by me and the all in 7 years, me ain't agree with it and me ain't gonna take it. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these guys play these games when it's convenient. When you're on one side, they talk one language. So when you're in government, you talk one thing. When you're in the opposition side, you talk another thing. And when it's convenient to make it sound good, they do that. And they demonstrate, especially some of these lawyers and so on, they demonstrate their lawyer skills when they go in the house and so on, have some nice speeches, and they're able to sway the people based on what they say and how they say it and so on. Good, because that's how lawyers win cases, in so much, is how they use the words and the language and the antics and so on in the house that is able to sway the jury. You understand? So even in the house when they're doing these things, some of these are the games that they play. Now, let me move on a little bit, because we were talking about the 20 by 25, right? And as we talk about the 20 by 25, I am right now a bit confused. Well, let me not say confused. I should say curious, and I'll find the word. But when I listen to what's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis, there is right now, seemingly, I'm seeing and I'm hearing the persons who are charged with PRO for agriculture and St. Kitts have really gotten on a drive and is really seeking to push and do some damage control in relations to some of the allegations and things that are put out there in a negative light towards agriculture. Now, that is good, and they have started to also seek to come to the public and highlight a lot of the things that they have been doing and are doing and so on, which is great. However, there's seemingly some disconnect between what we're hearing from the ministry side of things and the farmers themselves side of things. I don't know if it's the same on Nevis. I know personally, because I'm a Nevisian, I know in terms of the way Nevisians deal with things is different. So I don't know if the same thing is happening on Nevis, but the farmers are quiet. But on St. Kitts, they're more prone to be agitated and would agitate. So even as we speak, I'm hearing that tomorrow farmers are planning to protest, a silent protest down at the government headquarters when they are reading out whatever they're reading out inside there. I'm hearing that they plan to put some black tape on them out because they say that they're being silenced by these kind of treatment and so on. So like I said, I don't know if that is happening now. If you're getting the sense on Nevis as well that what you're hearing from the ministry side of things and what you're hearing from the farmer side of things is not meshing. And if it is not, and we're serious about 20 by 25, then these things have to be fixed as we're rolling into 2024, because that's where you were going and asking in terms of, if you think that we are ready and equipped to really meet this agenda and so on. Now, if you're having this serious disconnect between the farmers and those on the administrative side who is supposed to help and assist the farmers to ensure that this 20 by 25, 25 by 25 agenda is achieved, and even longer than that, because 2025 is just around the corner, but we still have to look at sustainability beyond 2025. So these are some of the things that I am curious about. Now, the good thing is I saw another post which I want to take the opportunity to encourage a lot of our young people, especially those students who I would have taught in the past, present students of agricultural science, or recent graduates. There is an opportunity with the Southern University. I see there a recent post where the CEO for the cannabis industry is over there, went over there on a trip to do some research and seek to make some connections with Southern University. And not even so, the good thing that that you don't even have to go there physically. They're seeking to make opportunity available for you to do the courses or the whatever certifications, degrees, or whatever it is online. So I'm urging youths and young people to take on the opportunity. I want to take this time also to congratulate one of my former students, a young lady, Fazina Posad. I think that's her last name, Posad. But Fazina, I remember the first name pretty well. Fazina was just graduated from Earth University. Successful young lady from one of my students back then. I could recall her very much interested in agriculture, and I really feel good to see. Huh?
Nashim Data, you mean? Or somebody else? Can Nashim have a daughter graduated too, Steve Jones' sister? No.
Well, no, I think she probably would have been in Gingerland Secondary, but this one went to Charleston. I think she's of Guyanese descent, right? But I'm really proud, and is it Steve Jones' daughter?
Steve Jones' sister.
Or sister. Well, either way, congratulations. Also, I don't know her personally, but also I didn't know that she graduated as well. So my thanks for giving me that update. But I give thanks any young person, especially, and I'm glad also you're saying another girl as well. So it is nice to see that. It's nice to see that a lot of the females are taking up some of the positions in agriculture, and some very young beautiful girls and so on, showing that this is not just something like we had in the mind, like the old people and that kind of thing. We're having a lot more young people, so I'm really encouraging more young people to take it more seriously. The cannabis industry, I was kind of disappointed, Banky, that we had the budget reading on Nevis and there was nothing in the budget that was specific to cannabis and any development to cannabis. And cannabis is a serious means of generating revenue, and we find ourselves in a position on Nevis where the debt is significantly high, to the point where
you realize one thing: only one somebody ever talk on cannabis is the premier. Not even the Minister of Agriculture. Nobody could ever any other minister ever talk about cannabis.
Well, and as you said that, Banky, that also.
Not the taboo and we're afraid to talk about it.
But as you said that, that highlights another point for me, where I find a Nevis seemingly only the premier makes public appearances to the people. The other ministers who are supposed to be working on behalf of the people, there is not that open confrontation, not such confrontation, consultation, where they have that open forum where people can ask them questions the same way they do. The premier organizes premier's conference once a month, and then he has his radio program that he utilizes where people can call in and so on. And sometimes some of the ministers act as co-hosts or co-hosts, or sometimes they host it when he's not around and so on. But in terms of an opportunity, we okay, like on St. Kitts, we would see from time to time the Prime Minister have his conference as well, his press conference, but he has conferences where he have other ministers, and the other ministers are able now to answer to their ministries and what they're doing and so forth. But we're not seeing that on Nevis. We don't have that. I mean, but maybe, like I say, they don't change things if it works and nobody's saying nothing, then I guess you all like it that way.
Different, we are different type of people up here. We accept things and whatever. And if he's not accustomed to, then we don't want it or whatever it is.
But I would want to think that would be should be the expectation. So I commend the premier for doing that, for seeking to make himself available to the public for questionings and but also I think opportunities need to be made, whether it's once a month or quarterly, that the other ministers are brought to the table as well, and have the press ask them questions and in regards to their various ministries. These are things that they're supposed to be doing on behalf of the people. Part of the problem we have in the banking with governance, is that these people, like I'm saying, they're our employees, but they function like they're our employers. So your employees, you're paying them, and they're doing things on behalf of you, but not consulting with you. So they don't consult with you, and sometimes when they go and do things on behalf of you, they don't come back and report to you either. So I was very much impressed with the press conference this morning. We spoke to the COP28 issue, and I don't know if it's because a lot of people were challenging the amount of people that went, why the government found it necessary to come to the public and share. But I think these things are things that needs to be done on a regular, because Banky, a lot of the what a lot of us don't understand, when sometimes these people go and make decisions on behalf of us without consulting with us, we are the ones who end up find ourselves in the brunt of whatever decisions they make sometimes. Like for example, look at what is going on right now in the region with Venezuela and Guyana, right? A lot of what is going on now, the CARICOM have taken the stance that they are supporting Guyana. We and St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm not certain if there was any consultation with the people in regards to how we think, how we feel about the situation. Anything was done, to seek to educate the people about the issue so that they can be privy as to what's going on. But these people take decisions sometimes without any proper consultation. Now, okay, Venezuela in recent times would have supported a lot of the Caribbean countries with the Petro-Carib and the fuel and all of these. I'm sure there was a point where there was a cry for Venezuela to become a part of CARICOM. So these things have implications. The decisions that they make have implications. Some countries in the Caribbean support China, some support Taiwan. Taiwan and China.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Before this agreement was put in place, who the land name, the property that belongs to? The land name?
From by the Guyana and Venezuela history is kind of interesting. Well, it would have been the indigenous people would have been there, and that's part of my issue with the Essequibo argument, because Essequibo is populated by majority of who is considered indigenous people, and there's no there's no position, there's no point where they are considered for the land. It's either Venezuela or Guyana. And seemingly there were some issues way back. And you see, this is why I'm saying a lot of what happened in colonial days have implications with what is happening now, because a lot of what that is about has to do with from colonial days when the Dutch and the French, Dutch I think and the Netherlands would have had that section. Then Spain took it. So it was the Dutch and Spain and British, and then British took British Guyana, and Spain took that side with Colombia and Venezuela and those people over there. But then there was some agreement that was made in terms of Britain after.
Do they ask these things? Like St. Martin, where they get French and Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they were split into the same way.
Mm-hmm.
St. Kitts where they were split into. That's where you got the French and the British the same way. This is the problem, This is the problem where these things come from. Your extinction of people all in Hawaii and around the world have been extinct because of a group of people. And hundreds of years later, it's still gonna affect. That's nothing solved. The problem never solved. Cause you see, that's why you see going back in Ghana, they came back to the old language because it's one landmass there was enough. They chop up these places and all these things,
Right.
So like families where you're coming from, Sudan, coming on to Mali and all these different places. You understand? Same family line, but then you chop it up so your house over here and you still so. It's like credit code and government should have one, and you split a line and say, one family, but I over there, we put us a war against each other and give different names. That's what happened.
Well, it seems like from the research that I'm gathering that there was a point where when they settled after whichever war and Britain took over that section of Guyana, they
1899 that treaty that they signed.
Yeah, no, but even before 1899, there was some other issues, right? I think where then when Britain map out that zone, they were still Venezuela was still requesting it. They were challenging it, but
it was Venezuela and Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
The land it belongs to, and where the battles then was. You got the Irish come from a beginning,
Uh-huh.
It shouldn't start from which part of people say start from, You see what I mean? That's how things. You see, people want to start from here and forget about there. You see, that's the problem.
Right.
That is the problem. You see, because we was always in America too. We was there along with the Indian car is we. So they know so when they hear the ancient like us in America or black Americans or what African American, they should not use those terminologies. They are Americans. The Europeans is not Americans, but them and the Indians are Americans because they always been there.
Right.
You should have the people put names and change name over the years from this to that to this to that. It's your land. So people tell, go back where you come from. Are your land?
Yeah, but the thing is, in this argument,
yeah,
nobody is talking to. So seemingly, what's going to happen is these indigenous people, I guess, right now they're under Guyana's documents. But if this thing is supposed to change, then I guess they would eventually be Venezuelan citizens. So but the thing is, the land belonged to them, and nobody is talking about
this thing now and twisting the nationalities and whatever and boy, we're in a messed up place because of money. And all this because of one thing.
Land and oil, fighting for land and oil,
This money.
Land and oil. Because the Essequibo only became a source of value after they found gold and oil in that section, and as a result, now we are where we are at.
The people are mining, so we can't say what in that mine or whatever. Because if Milan, I went with the origin. You see, these are the problem. It's just like over in the other side, we're going on with all this genocide going on over in Africa and all the places where they call Israel and this and that and all the places and whatever.
From what the history is showing, the land, I guess, probably would have been laid claim to Venezuela at a point. They went to court. Then the British would have mapped out an area, the same area that is that they are questioning right now. They went to court and Britain took that piece. But whatever the case they had, Venezuela agreed at that point to settle with that agreement. Then after that, when America stepped in, and I think America was asked to be like the middleman in between that whatever, then they had an agreement, some Monroe agreement they had, which America then accepted the boundaries that was created by Britain. And that is where the issue is at present. So Venezuela was always challenging that area. It's just that they had a court case, it was settled, and when they had the Monroe decision, the Americas was like, okay, this part that is considered the Americas, Europe can't come over here, come trouble nothing over here, come do nothing over here. So, but Venezuela wasn't considered. So Venezuela considered Spanish. The Guyana stayed British. So you had British and French Guyana and British Guyana.
Of course.
But you know, it's just like you say, is a matter of time, it's a matter of fighting for land and oil, and the people in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. What the point I was making really is that the decisions that are made by our leaders, who in most cases don't consult with us, we are the ones who suffer at the end when they do make these decisions.
Right now we're getting some rain. This is kind of time, the season, the very place getting cooler, so we're getting rain. So hopefully, much people start to plant this time. Because there's a time in March you'll find a lot of pumpkin in, but then nothing after March, everything gone scarce again. We got this our planting season.
So
if we're gonna import for 2025, where all this excess water gonna come from? Whatever different system gonna put in place, and when this program gonna start? Because I don't get excited with these things, you know. I like to see. I gonna just sit aside. I gonna just watch them because I like to watch, because farming is something.
It's getting
Is long term. You see what I mean? Short term, but long term. And you either know it or you don't know it. So training is always key, and commitment. And you will get pests, lot of pests, fungus, bacteria, all kind of different stuff. So control techniques is going to come to play. So which means more chemicals from chemicals. And that's what this means. So we're going to be mindful of all these different use. Because you're going to be spraying much more and all these different stuff. Because one main thing is farmers close to each other when you're farming. Okay, I'm going to draw a reference. I visited a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man a spray. Man got no gears. Just normal shot. Just normal spray. Insecticide. So virgin, what is? You see, so these are things agriculture is supposed to enforce, because you don't train me in farm additive, but then I can give a farmer a citation. So what you know, if I catch you, I'll give you a warning, you do this again, then the department will not be taking some of your produce. You understand now, whatever it is.
Right.
Because you're spraying, which part the man spray, yeah. Then you got soil next door there, you know. Same plot, you know. You spray and you have worker in the field. I pick the same soil, but you there spray. So but what they miss, but what they spray again? If I the same soil, then you're gonna sell to people. So me analyze, so me explain all these things to him. You see what I mean? But me accustomed to do this. We say yeah. So then you kill off the people who you sell these things to. and all this, and then so you working in the field, not say nothing, and smelling all this thing. We say, me going, so what you gonna do? These are things that are happening on a regular basis. You see something to show you. So if the department ain't gonna enforce these things and these you're supposed to write up these things, because farmers going to decide what they want to do. So unless you don't record these things and say, you know something to show you. These are what because how you can't be doing stuff like this. You cannot be doing stuff like this. I seen this thing too many times, and that's why this is the only reason I started this show. You see what I mean? Because just like the farmers use Lanade to spray insecticide to spray on the crops, but they still use it as a poison to poison pig and goat and sheep and whatever else. You see what I mean? If you're gonna use something that even if you smell it, you're dead, you can still spray up on the crop. You see what I'm talking about?
And then people don't.
And then who sell these chemicals?
The agriculture department.
Well, but that's the whole point. So safety is key because Virgin, the thing that the farmers do, that's why I say come here. That's why we keep because it encourages people to plant the food and ask farmers to visit the farm. You see what I mean? To see how the farm look. You understand and stuff like because even the full farm they should visit if they like to eat eggs and see how clean the farm is, and then you might change your mind from eating eggs too if you see how the farm look too. You see, we just sit and see things and buy it, and then you don't see. You need to go to the source. That's when you come in and cast. You come wherever I do. I like to keep things in order because it tells your mentality. You see what I mean? How you see things. That's what it tells. Okay. Not the last food, the finished product. Come which part of the thing they might grow. That's what it's all about. So you could see how the thing is set up and whoever say, yeah, this thing is serious. Not just gonna give me a product I mean where it come from. No, meaning of that. You see, that's how stuff's supposed to be. Supposed to visit these places. You like egg, visit the egg farm. Show up. Don't even ask them, just show up. You understand? I come to say, just show up. You can show up and in your class anytime, wherever you can show up. Wherever I manage, you can show up anytime. You need to hide. You see, some people you have to give them, you have to plan before they come, you have to clean up, do this, hide, that kind of thing. We got to be serious when it comes to food security, use of chemicals, for people whether it's biological, safe to touch. People still don't get, if they eat peanuts, they get a problem from peanuts or lobster and seafood and stuff like that. It's upon the environment, so it's really important. Because remember, everything is you're farming right there, and below Hasford, there's schools, a high school there, there's a primary school right there by the government house. Then you have farmers spraying chemical there, 10 o'clock and different time throughout the day. Well, you drifting and go down by the school. You drift and getting value mat. You ain't getting by the gym, you ain't getting by the gas station. People passing, you ain't getting, you see what I'm talking about. These are the things we're not thinking holistically. And then you still have a lot of homeowners also using a lot of Glamax zone to pass by some yard. They are grown as if like a fire pass. Glamax zone are weedless and all these different herbicides. These things are not just used in farming. They're used around your homes, around landscaping in hotels and different homes and all these different places. We're not taking the use of chemicals serious. I see too much people using chemicals on the yard and on the farms, and which are food there, and still sell the food. These are not good. These things are not good. You see, and when you talk about these things, some people just feel a kind of way because everything about money. You see, and money is the problem, Greed. That's what I keep talking about this thing because I talk about the Christina disaster, which I need to pay the people the money. I want to talk about reparation for all the illness and what we don't do. The people who use the herb. I want to talk about the age of consent from 16. They got to change that. They got to change that. I hope this young lady reach out safe to her family by tomorrow before they even finish. I'll get out before. They got to change these things. We to dress up every day and go to church with all this church on the island and seeing these things being accepted. And they know that is paraphernalia. You accept it right there. Because how a 16-year-old could give consent? Does that make any sense? That don't make no sense. So I really would like to see every member go in the house tomorrow in the House of Assembly, whether they're from Nevis go down, even though they're not going to see it in the Otago. Does those from Nevis get on, yes, son? That makes sense?
Yeah, they member the opposition. So anytime the federal assembly, the 3 members have to, because they're the members of the opposition.
They're going to portfolio.
No, they're members of the opposition. So they will go and maybe oppose. They should be opposing.
But I hope they talk about put this on the agenda and let all come to a conclusion that age need to change. Because everybody want to talk about it. I mean, I understand that. But they don't talk about it. I find it hard to believe you don't want to talk about, nobody want to talk about the Christian disaster, so much people suffer and die, and still when they talk about it. If Azzy start talking about Christian disaster, my uncle Azzy don't start crying because he lose a mother, 2 sisters and a brother. Still affect a grown man in the 60s and the 70s. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what the time and present and future is one place. And you know, pay the people and them, and then every time August money come around, you got some memorial and clap and go. No, pay the people and them. All the wrong what you all have done in the society. The society is something is wrong with our society. It's much healing need to be done. I need the age of consent to change. You speak like so, can make a lot of sisters, and a lot of girl child, so we don't have a choice. A lot of aunties and big mother, so we don't have a choice. Who don't have any of those aside for them. But as Asian people, is before they are, when they're that is a field, so many killers be seen. So I represent females. But we become a gender card. I also know a man could be a woman, but don't put a party. You be where you want to be, but me concerned about the age of 16. Whether it's male or female, get up to what is 18, if I die it is, or 21. That's how it is. Because if you don't do these things, it shows that our society encouraging these things. So you can't be jumping the radio and say we're so bright and we're so this and we have all these degrees and all these distinguished and have all these great speeches when you check your laws. Because there was a show I was listening to my good friend Sister Sensi, and there was it seemed like a doctor was on the show and they was talking about all this different stuff, and she was mentioning the same age of consent, and the person was shocked. And they were saying the same thing. I mean, that need to change. You should have been, but the person from here. So they were saying that need to, and they were making reference like going to the US, you can't drink alcohol until the number you could go at war when you're 18 and kill, and but you can't drink alcohol again because you're still under 21. Which you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But Banky, a lot of things, you know, like we really need to implement, because some of the things that we end up and try to say could be a problem, right? Could be easily fixed. Like for example, when they were talking about cannabis, right? One of the things that they were talking about is, you know, it being exposed to children and so on. But let's look at it right now on St. Kitts and Nevis. There's no business that ensures that children coming in have to show the ID. You know, like for whether for alcohol, up here even lighter. A child can't go in a store and buy a lighter. And out here you can, but so those places now you have to show your ID. And to get certain things, you have to show your ID. Even the cannabis stores and so on out here, you have to show your ID.
When you go to when they have all them big shows for carnival, do you have to show ID to get to those places?
No, so that is why them children. So that's what I'm saying. Until we start to implement these things, then we're gonna have some of the issues that we continue to have. Because, you know, I mean, these are things that are just not supposed to happen. So, you know, school children sometimes, and I remember even back in my time when I used to teach, I mean, this was something that bothered me, because I used to see it happen in Charlestown, you know, school children going in business places and buying wrapper and tobacco, and you know what I mean, and it's allowed because, as you say, come down to the money.
It's supposed to happen. So you see these things, the inconsistencies. That is the problem. The system is the problem. So,
and those who are at the helm don't necessarily have the will to want to change these things or to make the change. Because you're talking about that age of consent. The age of consent could change.
Regular society, everyday society people ain't seen. This no need. This is a no-brainer, you know. This is a no-brainer. This is not to think about. Look how long this thing been going on, and you really gonna change this lot.
The willpower, the will to change.
Well, sir. Well, it shows a lot of our society, you know. It shows
Banky, like I tell you earlier, when I heard, I've heard the argument from the Premier, I've heard it from Mr. Brand, I heard it from Eric Evelyn, and I heard it from Troy. The only person who wasn't there at the time was Miss Janelle Nisbet, right? But I've heard from the four of them, and in terms of the becoming a republic. So you understand, if these people are saying, well, to them in significant, it shows you where the mindset is, because they're the same people who ain't got a problem with taking up the Bible and playing allegiance to them and don't play allegiance to the people. So you see where the mindset is, and if you could have people who are comfortable with that and don't have any problem with changing, certain things.
Of course.
So unless the people get up and agitate, then these things are not going to happen. And then they play the game because it is documented in history that Nevisians are docile people. They're like sheep. So they use that at the advantage. That is why in Sinkis is different, You realize when certain things happen in Sinkis, people rise up, You will get up, and if they need to protest, they protest, and they do what they need to do. Nevis, the same thing happen. And people sit back and the politicians are aware of those kind of things, and they take advantage of that. So until the people, and that is why for me, I don't really argue and get vexed and upset with the politicians, it's the people who allow it that have a problem with it. I think there's a saying that say, it's not the evil or the person that do evil, but it's the people who sit back and allow it to happen.
Of course.
Is the problem.
But this is not good. You see, because we say we are independent country and all the nation, all these things, and we love to brag on our rights and all these things, and yet we import our food from a country that we dislike and all this different stuff. You see what I mean? Because we still send out our money to America, and they're receiving food that we can grow here: carrots, sweet potato, broccoli, cabbage, onion, grape. We can grow everything here. We can grow Christophine here, Irish potato, garlic. You understand? We can grow it. But we got to have a collective effort. You see? We have the money, So nobody tell me we don't have the money. So we know we got the money. Because I work already for the administration, and no PS could ever tell me when I work that they don't have money. Because I hear it, and just so I tell somebody else that. You see? So they can't tell me these things. Because I understand how the system functions and how they move money from places and wherever. You see what I mean? So I'm one person. Nobody could ever tell in the civil service that no money there. Because money always there. But it's whether I do it and move it and do it with. You see? But those who don't want because they must suck up, me not suck up. Because I know better. You understand? You cannot be, because you see, I'm the kind of person, You could keep your money, because you have a problem with that. Because you can't eat money.
Right.
You see? So money is never been a problem to me. And that's one thing. Never. You understand? Me not about that. Because you don't have money, because you never stop fit. Because money don't determine your well-being and all this stuff. You only come buy material things, whatever. You can't eat it. You got to look beyond that. And what we live in a society where people want to use money to enslave you and dangle it over your head and be kind of figure out wherever you live, and you might be a single mom and you got your little bills to pay. Pressure you. We have a nasty system, and those things need to change. And the Prime Minister Joe got to make serious changes within the same civil service and put things where who is working and benefit should be getting what is good. You gotta have a different type of system in place. You know, and stop take everything personal and petty, and where you have members or peers, whatever how you want to put it. You gotta be professionals. your personal opinion of my personal opinion of Jackson have not to Jackson doing any work. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad that is not the way it is. We are too sensitive, and mostly men and women are more sensitive than females. I will for the food they eat.
But Banky, the politicians, them who hype is the politicians hype up the people and got them in that kind of mentality, you know? Because remember, I tell you, the game is a game they're playing, and the game is to win. So, in order for them to win, that has to continue divide and rule and pitting one against each other and having that, you know, that fight and trying to oppress each other. If that does not take place, their game, because that is a part of their strategy. So as much as that's why I'm telling you, me ain't got a problem with them because me aware that what them a do. Is we know have to educate our people and educate ourselves. Like how you say, you know, you're going to do the research. We know got to research and find out about these things that we should know and how it works, so that we can challenge them when the time comes. The part of the problem now too is when you are aware of these things and you're in a position where you could challenge them, and you do challenge them, they try to play a game because they're playing a game now. They try to label you as opposition and say, oh, you're supporting the opposition because you challenge them about the job that they're doing. Mind, you're the boss, you know. Even if it's 10 cents out of my tax that they're using, that is what paying them. So even if it's 10 cents, me 10 cents, still me the boss because you ain't paying me nothing. So me 10 cents helping to pay you. So when I come to you to ask you about the job that you're doing, me ain't asking you about your personal business, me ain't challenging you on your personal life. I challenging you on the job. You're a public official, come to do a job, and I'm challenging the work that you're doing. I'm questioning the work that you're doing. How does that make me an enemy, or how does that make me opposition? And these are the kind of things that they do to kind of help stifle the people and stifle people from speaking out or talking, because now they try to brand you. I don't play that. I don't care who is in there. Whoever is in there, it doesn't matter what side you're on. You say you come there to represent. So I'm going to challenge you based on what you say and what you do. And that's it. If you want to be upset, well, then don't take the job. Since you don't want to be challenged, don't take on the job.
But the money they want, so of course they're going to take the job because that's the interest of the money. Go on with it, you know.
Yeah, well, Banky, you know, we have been talking a bit, and we kind of ignore a little bit of the people on the Facebook page. So I'm going to read out a couple of things that I see here. Lenny Leibod, Banky is Jamaican hibiscus. The name is the same as sorrel. Yes, Lenny Leibod. Most of the Americans don't, they refer to sorrel as a different plant. Sorrel is a leaf plant. So for them, they refer to, when they hear sorrel, they refer to the leaf. We in the Caribbean, the term sorrel is mostly used by us in the Caribbean. It is known by most of the Asian people as hibiscus, because hibiscus is the category that it is under in a plant. So the hibiscus flower, sorrel, and there are a number of other plants that are under the hibiscus category. And so it is deemed a hibiscus. So if you're in America and most places, they refer to it as hibiscus. Let's see who else we got here. Ball Jones. No big outcry from the public for that missing girl. My thing is that since we can come together and protest peacefully in the streets on the political issues, here now we have a chance to come together in the streets and rally against criminal activity and such, put out that awareness for that missing girl. I think that's a good idea as well. Really and truly, the man got to, Ball Jones again, the man got to listen to a higher power. The change the people want, they're not giving it to the new. DPP wanted to charge 2 persons in politics in SKN who didn't declare their assets, and he is prevented from doing just that. So the corruption and the status quo remain, but the people need to go in the streets to peacefully protest, or the corruption remains. God only said DBA is one of the top law firms in the Caribbean. And Damien Jeffrey said, blessed. Ball Jones again. All the survivors of Christina disaster need to bring a class suit action against the government. Ball Jones Jones again, he says, we remember a lot of families, the ones who lost their parents on that boat. Children had to grow up without their parents and they got no compensation for their pain and suffering. Alleged negligence on the part of the government part of why they or whoever was the owner of the boat overloading. Seems like a big reason why the boat went down. So he's making an argument, or the argument why the government should be responsible for compensating the people and the families who are survivors of the Christina. So he is agreeing with the argument that you're putting forward. And
they have and they're making a money with this CBI, and I don't care to take all the money. I don't care the money come from.
Right.
The national bank got so much of billions and I still don't have nothing. Hey, the people the money is the own people are paying, giving the money to. You have generation. These people have children and children and grandchildren and great and all kind of stuff.
But that is what I'm saying, Banky. This is something okay, like so this is something that I and this is why I'm saying that the people have to start to educate themselves.
Evilness, people in a grave, mass grave and all kind of stuff. And come on, man, this is sick.
But Banky, we, the masses, need to wake up and come together and really start to analyze what's going on. Don't take on these little petty arguments and don't get caught up in the little distractions and so that they try to distract you with. At the end of the day,
that affect it. You understand? And then I want to hear talk about cricket. You see, this is a range around cricket with Willett. You know what I mean? After the disaster, Willett triumph and make it to the West Indies team, and he gave back life to Nevis because like Nevis was in a dark place. It's a serious story around this Christina disaster thing, you know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, they should have Christina, a full-size Christina somewhere, like how they got Christopher Columbus down there in the thing there, like a monument. He's a Christian. You understand what I'm show you?
Right.
Wrong things. You see, we're doing the wrong things. St. Kitts, Nevis, to mass grave. You see what I mean? Unmarked grave. And up to now you can't compensate that generation from since 1970. That's what it is, right? 70?
I think so.
Madness. And nobody want to touch this. I remember Mr. Parry had mentioned something that wherever some money had get somewhere. I don't know, but Parry can talk on that behalf. I understand, but I remember something like that had mentioned something money had sold somewhere. I don't know, but wherever the money, they need to find the money, can money dead. Okay?
Bobanki, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem that I understand, you know, like that I see. They can find, we as a people, we have been through the struggle. Our people know that we have been through the struggle. The people who are sitting in those offices of government, are people like me and you who went through the struggle. Their parents went through the struggle, but they continue to maintain that system and continue that kind of oppressive treatment that is required through that system, and they make it seem like, oh, they have to do it. That's the kind of game that we got to do this. But no, there are a lot of things that they can do to help our people, and so they find all of these. That's what I'm saying. They find all kind of things to help other people and help investors, foreign investors, and they will do anything to help other people make money. But when it comes to helping our own people and empowering our own people, and I am saying that because if they could take hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes and invest in hotels and other foreign investors that are coming in, why can't you take these same hundreds of millions and even $1 billion and put into agriculture, since you're so serious about feeding and knowing that this is something so critical, you know? So when they do these things, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, when we see these things, and this is the thing, they do these things in front of our faces, and then they still are able to garner the support of a majority in some cases. So it makes you wonder. That is why I say I kind of have to just deal with my people and address my people, because they are the ones who are allowing this. The politicians know exactly what they're doing. They know it's a game that they're playing, and they're being successful with it. They're being successful because we sit back and allow them to do what they do and play the reverse psychology, where they are the employees and function as if they are the employers using your taxes. So when they're telling you they're doing this. It's your money they're using. Everything that these elected officials are doing, they're doing with your money, your taxes, your assets, the passports well, they say they're not selling passports. They say they're selling citizenships. Okay. However they want to term it, whatever kind of technical jargon they want to use. At the end of the day, the monies that are made are our money. So if you could take it and invest in foreign investors, if a foreign investor is bringing a project in, why can't you take it and put it into your own people and empower your own people? Empower the small businesses. A lot of them who are struggling and right now, need that help, especially after COVID, 2 years where they couldn't do anything. A lot of people are struggling. People are struggling, the small businesses are struggling. But a lot of times they don't get help, and sometimes they don't get the help because of parties and political games. And to me, when it comes to those kind of things, we shouldn't play with those, because if we say we're empowering the people, we need to empower our small businesses, because at the end of the day, these small businesses, if we help them, they're gonna go and give your son and your daughter and a work, and pave the way for them to open their own businesses too. But huh?
No, sir, we got
Carla?
9 minutes, so we want to talk at Ganja.
Well, like I said, it was good to see the CEO making that approach, making that move with Southern University, seeing that Southern University have a cannabis program that's going on. So I am really looking forward to hear from him and that team that would have taken that trip, and see what they would be bringing back in regards to us. And Nevis, I am really looking to hear from the Minister of Agriculture, especially seeing that cannabis is now under the Ministry of Agriculture, and I would really like to see what plans are here, what plans they have, and see some of these plans roll out as a means of, one, food security, and two, seeking to help to get agriculture back as one of the top revenue generators in the Federation. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Like I said, I'm very disappointed that I didn't hear anything in the budget. So I am now waiting to hear that cannabis and also what other plans they have. As you say, we're rolling into 2024 and only 1 year you have. And like I said, I hear the cry and sin kits, and the farmers are protesting and sin kits. I don't know what the status is on Nevis, but I think there is a need for that discussion with the farmers, and in regards to cannabis, have a serious discussion as to where you plan to go, how you plan to deal with the cannabis industry.
Hold up point there. Where you say, we can pronounce name. Elias M. Dipuzo. I'm not sure I pronounce his name right. But he was saying, guys, you forget the statute of limitation when it comes to the Christian disaster. They have a statute of limitation.
I don't know. So maybe he needs to, maybe if he can enlighten us some more.
They have no statute of limitation when a boat is overloaded and hundreds of people have died and generations have been affected and nothing have been done. I mean, how can you have a statute of limitation for something like this? But continue, yes, son.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and so, but until we bring these discussions to the fore, and this is the thing, we don't have these discussions, generally. These are not things that are brought to the public. We and that's what I'm saying. The politicians, in a lot of the cases, some of the issues that should be brought to the public for public consultations and discussions and so on, are not. So here is it.
How much people died between and the boat? How much people really died? About 290 something people total?
To be honest, I don't remember the figures. I know what his name, Whitman Brown, had documented in a book. I had that book when I was much younger, but I really don't recall a lot of the details.
Something like this don't need no lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? It's just to be settled. You see what I mean? The company, if it's 300 people, if it's 400 people, you're going to come up with 800 million. You figure it out. You give.
By Banky, you could say what you want, right? But at the end of the day, based on what the brethren they're saying, that is how the man gonna operate. Because the man operate within the ambits of the law. Though it don't matter. So if the last say that there was a time limit for the lawsuit, well, that's so you're gonna be. Look at what happened in Nevis. Remember when they had the case there with I think it was JD and whoever Pat and the premier or whatever, where NRP was doing whatever. There was a time frame when they no. In the comparison. No, in the comparison. Listen, wait, see the part I was talking about. There was a part in the case where there was a time for them to file it. So that's the part I was talking about. And so that was the leeway that they used to beat the case. And that is what happens all the time. It's just a loophole the lawyers and look for, you know. So if that is a loophole, if they don't want to compensate, if they don't want to, then they're gonna use the loophole to do that.
People accepting this kind of crap.
Where you all in accepting it? Look, we're in 2023, anything happen yet?
Well, me not accept it, me talk.
So that's what I said. You understand? So, but you and me, we're gonna be like some voices in the wilderness. Yes, some people are listening to us, but the until it reached a point where others seek to agitate, and this is brought to like a more public, and then we have more, we agitate to make them have a public consultation on an issue like this, and then it is really brought to the table, and then they have to do it because it is something that needs to be done. As I said, it was a government ferry that capsized, and everybody, and then there was some issues about, as I say, overcrowding.
Yes.
So which means that was negligence, and whether it's the captain or the government, whoever is, who they gonna want to blame? Whoever.
I remember talking to Budgin, and Budgin, we talking to Budgin saying, well, Frank Tyson, and he up with Frank and then with the captain and the talking and the committee, China and Frank, they watch each other. And when they tell you like something wrong, and with that, just like us all, you don't want to hear these stories, man. This is crazy. This thing is just like, trust me, you know, this thing is really, really sad. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much stories. You will sit down and talk about these things with people, survivors. It's amazing that you could read 100 books about this, hundreds of books about it, because everybody have a different story. But yet, putting a painting up in the background with a grave of Christine and like a boat and whatever, and one in St. Kitts, then I will solve this problem. This not with a mass grave. We should be ashamed of ourselves. You see? And I'm proud to say we saw this and we so well dressed. A wise man once said, there's one thing with us, boy. We are one of the best dressed slaves. Well dressed and we'll have nice cars and all these things, and well educated. Because this is what we're really doing. And it shows. But yeah, son, we're gonna wrap up because we have sisters still gonna come and play some music and keep the folks them jiggy. So your final words?
Yeah, well, just give thanks and praises for another edition, and really hoping that we can really see some differences for agriculture as we move forward into 2024 and as we move forward to the 2025 agenda. There really need to be some serious planning and coordination, and the marketing section need to spruce up. There needs to be a holistic approach to agriculture, and I think if that is not sorted, and St. Kitts, if the issue between the farmers and the ministry is not sorted, and some kind of amends are made, I don't see us really meeting that agenda. Nevis, I am waiting to hear from the minister in regards to where we will be going and what are their plans or ideas in terms of the cannabis industry, and or if they're going to go out to the people to get feedback from the people. I need to see that level of seriousness coming from leadership. I give thanks for another opportunity. I look forward to next week where we do the last show, I suppose, and really get into cannabis with Alan. I want to be able to have Alan back on the program, the lawyer.
And then the following week.
Okay, right. Oh, okay, correct.
We have too much show.
Right.
Next week we're going to have Gator and Jerry talk about animals and farming, and then
Oh, Alan will be last week. Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one especially because it's always good to have the young lion. And as I'm wrapping up, also I want to take a little minute to compliment him on that. I find that as a young lawyer, I hope that much more the young lawyers will take a leaf out of his book and present himself, looking at the issues, addressing the issues, and bringing clarity to a lot of pertinent information that the average persons might just take for granted. So I really applaud him for that. I hope that he also might eventually get the strength also to, you know, take on some pro bono cases sometimes if case may be, to help um, build his career and his journey. And I really appreciate that. So give thanks for the listeners, for those who participated, those from the BVI, Flow, and all the others who are locked in overseas. Our Facebook followers, YouTube, Twitch, whoever else are locked in. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Look forward to seeing you next week. Sisters, enough respect.
Yes, before I go, let me say condolences to the children of Julie Library of Government Road and the Library sister.
Oh yes, that's Ira's mom. Yeah, man. I did see something like that. So Ira, by my condolences, Ricky and Reese and the whole family. That woman was just a tower of strength, and lovely, quiet. Always, open to do anything for you if possible. I recall working with her in those days at Four Seasons. We never really had much interactions per se, but I just knew her as a very respectable character in the industry at that time. So yes, my condolences to the entire family.
Yes, to the Library family, definitely. Yes, folks, greatly appreciate the guys sticking here with us and being a part of the show, listening, and where we got it and stuff like that. But definitely, I mean, we need to really stand up to get some of these laws changed, especially age of 16. I mean, go up to 18 or whichever the appropriate age, but definitely can't be like that no more. And the Christian disaster need to be changed, and reparation for all those who got through our kind of tribulation when it comes to cannabis. Can now they say he ain't poison, so I don't know if he ain't poison. All the hiccup for now, so we're gonna continue that at the end of in the next 2 weeks as usual. But
Well, Banky, also, I guess by the time we come back, we will be able to get an update also too from our people who went to St. Martin the other day for the event, Miss Morton and her husband. And also, I guess we'll be able to get a report on the protest, if there actually is a protest tomorrow in Bastille in regards to agriculture. So all of that, I guess we should have an exciting show next week. So I look forward to that.
All right, so enough respect, folks. Greatly appreciate the guys tuning in.
Yeah, so that was this edition of Everything Agriculture. I don't know if you got most of what was said on the other side, or if you were just hearing me. I hope that was not the case. I hope everything was heard, and I do look forward to have a better setting next time, so that I'm not in this dark zone and where it is. But I am here to some extent because of the internet and the internet connectivity. So I will seek to adjust that for next week and have a better setting so that the lighting and all that could be much better. But it was a pleasure having you, for almost 2 hours. Look forward to seeing you again on another live edition. See you soon.